Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Island Church Weekly Podcast. Pastor Will, thanks so much for joining me today. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I look forward to every Tuesday with you
It's always
when we
fun, man.
record.
Yeah, exactly. Well, how was this past week at Island Church? How was Sunday morning?
That was good. It's another good day. Had two good services, 8:45 and 10, and good response to the message. I kind of finished up some series dealing with life-giving relationships, but I really dealt with on when we mess up, how do we clean it up?
Yep.
And then when when they messed up against us, what do we do? And so I looked at that. I think I got quite a bit of feedback. It was quite helpful. And so, people are just messy. We're just messy people, right?
Absolutely.
And so we mess up, we clean up. We know that we're not perfect, and so we have to constantly clean up relationships because they just get messy. If not, we just dispose of people, and that's just so not like Jesus.
Yeah,
So that's really
absolutely.
not an option. So it was a good day to finish that up, and that was Sunday morning, and then Sunday night we had momentum.
Yeah, big
So,
time.
so we put Charles Blanton and Jake Coffey to work, two of
Yep.
our master griller people.
Yep.
And so we had a little cookout. It's a little child's play for them. We just had hamburgers and chicken. It wasn't
Yeah.
like the fancy stuff, but we
Yeah.
did that for momentum at 5:15. And then at 6 o'clock we came together. It was really quite encouraging tonight when we listened to what God was doing in the life of our church. We got some reports from different organizations. And then we talked about several different kinds of things. We talked about the signage. I know you've been working a little bit
Yeah.
on that. We have some more work that's coming on that. I
Yeah.
mentioned that. We've talked about this interactive TV that's going to be put on the stage. We've
Yeah.
got that in the process of coming. And so that'll be a good thing. We've talked about just numerous kinds of things, and primarily around the Easter upcoming events. But one more thing we did, we talked about the Bridge to the Future. We talked about building plans. We got some new plans last week. They
Yeah.
just keep getting better and better and better and closer to what actually is helpful to us. And so anyway, that was really, really encouraging. I think that this is going to be a major just put gasoline on what we're already doing. It's not we've already got a flame going. What's going
Yeah.
on at church is a good thing. God is moving and people are responding. And we've created the right type of atmosphere for people to grow, to know Christ and grow in Christ. And so we want to see that expanded significantly on the island. And so this new building, this new tool to help us reach people and help them to get to know us.
Yeah.
Some people are not going to, they're not church goers. Well, that's fine as long as we're connecting with them and sharing the
Yeah.
gospel. Actually, the gospel isn't just a come and see. I mean, the
Yeah.
gospel in the New Testament is as you are going, as we are engaging people in life. And so every church should be trying to think about how would we actually advance the gospel, even if our church building just got
Absolutely.
blew away, right?
Yeah. Even if it was gone. Yeah.
Big hurricane or whatever, that took place. And so we want to be advancing people. And this tool gives us a place to connect with people. And we got several different types of parts in it that will help with that. So we're really excited. So that was Sunday. Good. We had fun.
Yeah.
Our people even talking about momentum that said this
Yeah.
is just fun. Well, we talk about what God's doing and how we're responding, and it was a good evening. And
Awesome.
there was a few leftover burgers and some chicken, so maybe when you
That's
come
not
back,
bad
come
either.
down next week. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so obviously, kind of a big weekend coming. I'm not going to say it's our church's Super Bowl. I know everyone says that. Easter is a big deal, though. It's a great time to invite friends. So give a little bit of overview. I know we've been talking about for weeks and weeks of everything that's going on. So just give us the quick, maybe the quick bullet points of times, what we're doing, what Easter weekend's going to look like, and then maybe let's do something a little bit different. I'm going to have a follow up question on Easter after that, but give everyone just kind of the basic details to start.
okay, sounds good. Well, obviously, your invitations, our people inviting people is the best way to get the word out on that. Whether it's the Easter egg hunt on Saturday or the sunrise service,
Yep.
or actually we have a 10 o'clock worship service. I'm going to preach two different messages on Sunday, like I have been doing. I'll do one at 6:45, and for those that that help us, that really make the whole thing kind of happen, I'll have a different message at 10 o'clock, still around the resurrection of Christ, but different message. So anyway, those are two options. But people, if our people will invite people, that's the best approach. So the Easter egg hunt. One is if you don't have your island. I don't think I have one sitting right here. You don't have a T-shirt,
They
but
stand out.
but come by the office this week, because it identifies us and helps us to engage with it with our community. Or I think they'll take a few on Saturday if you come to that. So Saturday, what does it look like? Actually, formally begins at 9:30. Obviously, we're going to be starting to set up around 7:30. A little after that, we're going to set up the tents and the games. Fire truck will come over. Later, we'll stake off the different areas for the children. Then we'll lay out the eggs. I mean, we got to lay out about 5,500 eggs. Obviously, we're not hiding them behind second base. We're on the baseball field down there, but we'll lay the eggs out there, and so there's plenty of things to do. It's fun, music going. So I just encourage everyone, if you've formally already signed up to help, that's good. If not, come anyway, and just be supportive of the overall effort. And so 9:30 it formally begins, but we'll be working until that time. And then the Easter egg hunt itself, gathering, will happen just a little bit after 10 o'clock. And so maybe 10:10, something in that order. And so we'll get that going. So that's the Easter egg hunt. And I'll encourage a couple of things. Parking's limited down there. If you can come to the church building, don't come to the church because we're the church, but come to our church
Yep.
building. You can carpool and or walk at your leisure down to the park just to our south, and just kind of ride together. That'd be good. If you come by yourself and you happen to come down there, we're not running you off, right? But just limited spacing. We'll be parked on the streets. It'll be several hundred people there, 200 or 300, 200, maybe 250, 300. So anyway, so that's that. Easter egg hunt.
Awesome.
Done. In the books. Sunrise, the next day, Easter Sunday morning, we're going to start setting up at early in the morning. We're going to meet about 4:30. We're going to go out about 4:45. But that's just for the people that are involved in the setup to get the lights and the staging and the welcome tent and all kinds of stuff. Everybody kind of knows where they're going on that. If you're looking for a place to serve and you haven't yet, just call the office, talk to Tom, talk to Stacy, and they'll be happy to include you in this. It'll be a big day. We've got the setup groups working, the welcome team. We've got the worship team's working. We've got a parking team with Jeff Fox. That's one of the fun jobs. Do the lights and have them directing traffic. And so you can do that. And both men and women are participating in that. But the park will be open. Yeah. And if you're on the very early crew, we've got a code that's actually 0331 for that particular day, 0331. But most of the time, soon after that, it's going to be open, and it shouldn't be a problem. Temperature wise, it's going to be 68 to 68 to 40 no, excuse me. I'm thinking about weather reports and how many times they're wrong. 56, 58 degrees. And I'm not trying to be a weather person, but it's not supposed to rain. And it'll be a little cool in the morning. That's the coolest time of the day, right? So bring a little, if you like, bring a long sleeve shirt, bring a little sweatshirt, whatever you like to do, whatever, a little windbreaker, that's fine. And then also that particular day, we're taking our annual missions offering that we're going to start doing every single year called the Island and Beyond Missions Offering. And this will go things like crisis pregnancy. We're involved in sponsoring several churches in prison that we're personally involved through Mark and Ty Bauman. They're so it's not like we're just sending the money off. They're actually engaged in that. We've got projects where we're helping with leadership development. We've got things going on in the U.S. and internationally with missions and church planting. And so we believe that this is, people don't have to feel any obligation, but we as a church and the people that come to the service will have an opportunity. I think there'll be a surprise in terms of how we're going to take that with just wait and see if you don't know about that. And it involves a sand bucket. That's an easy thing, but I'll tell you that one. But everybody will be. We're not trying to collect money for our church. We are trying to collect resources to engage in missions. And so that service begins on the sunrise service begins at 6:45, and we'll start promptly right then, and it'll end by 7:15, 7:18. It's going to be 30 minutes, probably maybe 35 minutes, probably 35, 36 minutes. And for the whole thing. And so it's going to be big fun. It'll be a few songs, short message, a welcome by a new person in our church, Derek, and a young man just finished up in college. And so he'll be doing the welcome. So it's going to be a big day for us. Invite a friend. If you haven't come, invite a friend, maybe go with you. If you want to help us in some way with worship setup, worship team. Well, they've got their own thing. The
Yeah.
welcome team, the parking, that type of stuff. Then let us know.
Awesome.
Did I
Awesome.
miss
Okay.
something?
No, I think you got everything and then some. I think we're good. Make
That's
sure everything's there. People know we're good. Question that I wanted to ask you today. This is a little bit outside the box. There are folks we've been asking people to invite a friend. We've been saying, "Hey, come serve." If someone's not serving, they aren't able to, and they don't have a friend with them necessarily, or maybe they are serving and they just, there isn't someone with them. There are going to be a ton of visitors at both the sunrise service, at the Easter egg hunt,
yep.
at our kind of services at the church building. Can you maybe just in a quick way coach our folks on how do you connect with someone that you see that's new, right? Like how do you approach them? How do you go up and start that conversation? And then where should they encourage them? What's that call to action? Like what's the next step that we'd like those people who are new visitors to take? Just so that, as I'm just thinking, as people in our church are seeing all these new people and just saying, I don't know them. Like sometimes it's easy to not even know how to engage with someone new. So you just say, oh, I'll leave them alone. They don't want to be bothered. But I think there's something to be said if we can have all of our people intentionally like helping those new folks engage. I think that's going to really make the most out of Easter. So just give us a few quick thoughts on maybe how to engage those new guests and get them connected.
Certainly. One of the things that our people can do is just certainly make introduction, tell them I'm with Island Church, I'm a part of the Island Church family, and welcome them. Obviously, glad that they're there, and just introduction and ask them their name. So share their name, and they can ask a simple question like, where do you live? You live in the area? Do you have a church home in the area? And if they say they do not have a church home, then say we'd love to have you come check us out and come connect with our church. And so they can simply invite them to a service. They can tell them that our services are 8:45 and at 10. They can also share with them. It just depends on the conversation, but you can share with them just our website. If they're looking for more information on our church, just go to islandchurchtv.com and find out more information. But just they could just make a simple overview of our church, like very welcoming church. We're a Bible believing church. We're a group of people that are trying to live out what it means to follow Christ in an authentic way. And we'd love to have them come and be a part, and just to check us out. And certainly people know that we have life groups taking place, places to serve, and then just places for them to come and worship. And so often we tend to think that people's first step is the worship service, but it may actually be in a group. If you're in a small group, you're in one of our life groups, you could conceivably even invite them to that, because sometimes that's a little less intimidating. But every person is a little bit different, but just the welcoming. And then particularly on Saturday morning, if we have all of our Island Church people in our T-shirts, and then some of them we have lanyards for, right? And so if the person sounds like they're even more interested, you can tell them that they can go to our website and register, put their information in that, and we'll be happy to follow up with them. Our pastoral team will follow up with them, or we'll follow up in some way. And that won't happen in every conversation, but that's another tool that's there. But just welcome, introduce yourself, tell them just briefly about the church, but then primarily focus in on them and their family, their situation, their possible interest, and just kind of be other-centered in our communication. So
I love it. Great coaching on kind of how to do that. That's what I was hoping for, is just to give people those practical steps of how they do that. So what's a way? Obviously, we have Easter coming up. I'm guessing that's going to be part of what you say. Just give folks one way they can be praying for the church this week.
We want to pray for our community. We've been doing this. We did this in our meetings yesterday. We did our meeting on Sunday, and we just want to be praying for our community. We want to obviously pray for safety, pray for all the tech equipment to work. But just the entire event. But we're really focusing on people. When all else fails, we may have to pull out the bullhorn, right? Something doesn't work, and pull out a Chevy and put the lights on the stage. But we're going to make it. We'll make it work. But we just want Christ to be uplifted, and this is an opportunity for us to make the invite and people to come. Saying just people be receptive to what God's doing in their life and trying to draw them to Himself, and then make that invitation. But obviously we're concerned about the safety of everything, and we move equipment around and trucks around and all the logistics, but that will happen even if it happens with some bumps along the way. The real
Yeah.
focus is towards these children and toward their
Yeah.
parents and towards the service. And so just
Absolutely.
be in prayer that we would have the right conversations, that God would create divine appointments. Some of the conversations you were talking about, Matt, will really be
Yeah.
divine appointments. God has set them up. And
Yeah.
they won't come and say, this is a divine appointment, but it's just God's
Yeah. That's what it
connection.
is. I love
So,
it. I love it. Well, Pastor Will, thank you so much. Big prayers for you as you have such a wonderful responsibility to get to preach the gospel on Easter to lots of people who maybe have never heard it. So we're praying for you. We're grateful for you. And we are grateful for everyone watching. We will see you on Easter Sunday.